He did Rosewood as well. That was a good movie. Actually, popular. He just got it her. Yeah, I saw how many people view it.
Oh, Teresa is on.
Have people now
Ah.
trying to like I guess
Hey, everybody.
like share. I mean,
4, 3, Ray, Teresa, and
we got 225.
I got
Okay.
just a second. Think about it then.
No, I don't have a thousand we don't have everything. I'm not like up there like
You better right here now. They got right now. We're not right that music making play. Step now.
I would get it.
There you go. Hallelujah. Here we are. Another night of relationship maintenance. I tell you what, we got a full house tonight. Hallelujah. So great to have everyone here. I'm just let all of my wonderful co-hosts go around and introduce and say good hello to everybody.
Hello everyone, this is Frederica. Opening that night, we had a very productive and fruitful Monday night relationship meeting.
Good evening, everybody. It's good to be here. Your motivational chef is in the house.
Grace and peace with every
And listeners who are that are tuned in via wow, we got a lot of people on tonight. Thank y'all for joining via a free conference call. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate it. Yeah. So thank everybody who's in. Thank you so much. See my good friend Teresa Thomas giving her a shout out. Good to see you, Sister Teresa. God bless you. And we can start off tonight by having corporate prayer. We can say the Lord's Prayer together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Our Father, who art in hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive trespassers and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Amen. And Abe, if you could just give us a prayer right quick, brother.
Father, Father God, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, once again, we just say thank you for another day. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for vision. Thank you for your spirit that's given us the wisdom and knowledge of what we need to do on these days. As we come together right now with the Bible, the relationship maintenance with God, we just ask you to open up our hearts and our minds. Those that are able to hear, hopefully we have a mending or to have a mending heart or be able to answer the questions or be able to answer the questions that some may have, that we may bring deliverance to our ministry. So to the relationship maintenance in our families, in our marriage, in our relationships. We give you glory and praise in the Son Yeshua's name. Amen.
Amen.
You've got a text.
So, like, wait a minute, we got somebody calling in. It's Regina's. That's Regina's phone. All right.
No, that's not.
Fred Drew had posed the question, and we were actually getting into some discussion. We came on to Freddie. You want to talk about kind of what you talked about? We were talking about right before we started.
I had someone to pose the question, and the question was, how can you love someone that has been harmed?
Yeah.
And that's whether it's female or male. And believe it or not, there's some males that have been scorned as well.
Yeah, and we look at the WYRN, and we were having some discussion, and really scorn is those people who have been hurt, offended, in relationships, and and they're really hurting, and then they're trying to get into new relationships. We were talking about how do you or do you handle it? That's what our question was. If you know somebody is really having some issues, past relationships, past experiences, and you can kind of see, and you can almost see the how do you deal with it, or do you deal with it?
Well, listen, I would just say there are a lot of females who are out there scorned, but there are also some men too. Men just don't talk about it. Instead of talking about it, they act. They act it out, and that's gonna bring up something that may make a little sense of what's going on. But when it comes down to abuse, I think when they always say hurt people, right? Because they don't know how to communicate. Their scorn is coming out in their actions when they start putting other people.
Yeah, wow. That's interesting, and of course, the physical abuse is, that's terrible. But a lot of times when people are not physical abuse, people don't even notice it.
Mm-hmm.
If you come in and somebody's hitting you, if you call the sheriff and say, look, somebody's fussing at me, they're gonna be like, y'all handle that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's how it gets. But I think the words hurt. I think the words can sometimes hurt worse than the hitting. Because with the hitting, you can at least fight back what that pain feels like. Somebody's, really offended you, literally tore your heart out because of something.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that stuff is deep rooted. The bruise of face heal. Not, domestic is abuse. Yeah, but the words, yeah, and domestic abuse in any shape, form, and fashion is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happens with men is we are taught just tough up and take it. If you got a woman who see you out, a woman who is very demanding, we like, man, this is how women are. It's like, no, man, you don't have to take that. No.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's not how they are, and trust me, to being sworn for women, some it come out through words because we know how to communicate like that. If we know where to hit you where it hurt.
Yeah.
I'm actually reading.
Oh yeah.
He's actually reading
Oh
some
yeah.
of that
We
air, and what Gina said is so true, considering it just confirms what Pastor was reading on the internet. I think it was 8 ways to.
Yeah, 8 signs of a woman scorned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the ones that they say is the icy silence. Silence. They said following. This is like been done wrong. They said the first thing would happen is first your outburst accusation of fight kick her off. But she won't say anything. She will probably sit there and take it all in. You may think that perhaps she's maturing. She's going to approach this like an adult, calmly and with caution. Do not be lured into that false sense of security. She is merely building up her fight mode.
Silent storm, trying to tell that quiet storm.
The words like the pain you feel physically is just a surface. And the words they hurt internally, so it's like getting cut.
Right.
You get cut, you can put a band-aid on a few days, you're straight. But a burn can last up to a week and the pain,
Wow.
discomfort. So
Wow.
that's
Bro.
put that in there.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
I was thinking about that. Y'all remember Kevin Samuels, brother, when he did relationships about women.
Oh yes.
He had a on YouTube did a clip about the 4 signs of of a low standard person. Or he said when he was regarded to women, also it can be regarded to men as well. He said there's 4 signs. He said the first sign is shame, and then the I is insults, and then he said the G is guilt, and then the next one is I forgot what it is. I think it says always want to be right. He wants to be right all the time. So when you see these, not see it's that manner, but he was saying those are the 4 signs that you see someone that is bitter or that's low standard, or what we call scorn. They're always going to have those traits. And I find, me myself, I can be in a situation as well because certain things that has happened to me in my relationship, I can find myself insulting or trying to make someone else feel guilty about something that I wanted someone to feel guilty about what they were doing to me. And so when we start having this being scorned or being scornful, that brings about like my brother over here, he was talking about Brody was talking about it's something that's inside, that's seated inside of us. And so we don't deal with it, every time we don't deal with it, we're always going to allow that fruit to fester or to grow within us. And we can put on the faces, we can put on the nice clothes or the Jordans or whatever, but as soon as we open our mouth or people are able to see our character, they're like, okay, something's flawed. So I see you looking good. I see you got you got your own bro, you got the nice clothes, you got the Jordans on, but your inside or your emotions or who you are is flawed. Something's wrong. So we got to really look at those signs that we see. When people give you a sign, that's a real sign. It's not something like you got to, you just got to, oh, that's just, I just see that it's not important, but it is important. If you see it, that's letting you know that's character that's in that person. That's it. So.
Teresa, I thought I saw your light up. Were you saying something, sis? Maybe not. Yeah, I thought I touched the screen lights up, so I want to make sure. And I think, and what Abe is saying, I think what happens is sometimes we call it overcompensating. We're driving nice cars. We're trying to do everything we can to hide whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why, sometimes the fear of not having, if I can't upkeep that false persona, if I can't keep the car, if I can't keep the clothes or whatever, then, I can't hide it. So you think, and I think that's why, when you think about drug dealers and stuff like that, people like, they're violent, they're whatever. Now they, you get lifestyle, right? And so, and what happens is when people see you walking down with the clothes, driving the cars, the drugs are just the means to the end. I mean, that's the not, when we say man dealers, no, they just like bankers. I mean, it's a different. I mean, of course, it's illegal and all of that, but that's why bankers and everybody, that's why people want nice jobs, is so they can have the appearance of something if they're not dealing with
power.
Yeah, but on the inside, and Frederica was talking about it, mental health issues. You got people who are, millionaires now who are breaking down, committing suicide, doing all those things because the money could no longer cover it up. You got every car you can get, you got all the clothes you can get, and then you stuck in a room by yourself at night, and you got a mansion and everything, and you're breaking down because it's like I'm just off. It's just something, something. Yeah. So yeah. I think mental health is, and maybe some of that is the scoring could be mental health
It
issues.
is. It really is.
Yeah. 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 Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. Hey. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead and
Hey,
chime in.
hey, so this is Rachel, and I was listening. This is what you were talking about with like the material things and trying to overcompensate. Um I can truly have lived a lot of my life. I'm gonna say maybe a decade of my life doing that, and you guys were hitting right on everything. And a lot of it had to do with being scorned from a relationship.
Wow.
And what it did for me, it was like a temporary fix, like a temporary high. So it was like a band-aid. And so I would shop, and it was just so good. My adrenaline is running and everything is going. And that moment I'm feeling well, but it's I get home or to my destination and drop those bags. The whole form that I never dealt with is still there. And a lot of foreign turns mental because a lot of foreign turns mental because it's never addressed or talked about. It's never exposed. So that's what happened with me for a long time. I sat in the seat of scorn for a very long time, trying to cover with materials, and that was just a temporary fix for maybe like 30, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. Again, like I said, when I come in and hang all clothes up, put all the perfume under the cat, put the shoes in the shoebox, tucked back in the back of the closet and sat down, I was still sitting in that same seat of misery.
Good
because
God
I never
Almighty.
dealt with it, and it turned into an emotional issue.
That's right.
Carla, can I ask a question? At what point that was something you have to deal with? When did you come to a realization like this is not this Band-Aid is no longer working? What brought you to that point?
Because it seemed like because the life I think it's like indescribable because the way I was living life, and kept I'm saved, sanctified, love God, everything I have in me, and was loving Him then with everything I have in me. But life for me felt dark, and I guess that's what life was. I didn't know.
Wow.
And I don't know, just like most of the times I sat down, it was like I had a conversation with Jesus, you understand? And it's like life is not supposed to be this way, but for a very long time in my life, I went through life like that. It just felt very dark and very heavy, and I didn't even know, you guys, I was in deep depression. But I thought that was just how life was. So it was in those moments when I'm sitting down on my sofa or at the edge of my bed, rocking like something isn't right, but I don't know what it is because surely God is way. So it was just like an awakening moment that I had with Jesus and an awakening moment that I had with God. And you're looking around at everybody else and seeing how they're living life. And I know you're not supposed to compare, and that's not what I was doing, but the comparison is really because, wait, something is not, like I don't mean, excuse me, brother, but she's my best friend. And I wrote a book. I remember asking her, crying, brother can attest to this, are you happy? And Fred was like, yes. And I said, really? Describe to me what that feels like because I've never experienced it.
God.
So it was in those moments when stuff started to unravel. Things started to unravel. That's when the layer onion started to peel back. And I realized that this wasn't the life God designed for life I chose because I didn't know what was going on.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Talking. Yeah.
I'm saying that it comes to that point that when we start accepting things that are not the norm, and we come to accept that, that's like when it says, uh, don't give your plate to the devil, that's exactly what it means. It's what it's talking about. It's saying don't accept the things that is being given to you. Don't accept it like there's no way out or that you can do. So you just got to accept it and roll with the punches. But that's not what the scripture is basically. It's basically letting you know is that when you allow it to come in, you have to cast it out of your mind. You got to think of something what we call positive affirmations. You got to change that thought process and then change it to a positive process. And so that's when we think on Jesus.
Yeah.
Or you give it over to Jesus, he'll work it out. So when we're looking at Jesus as the healer or Jesus as the word that gives you life and the word that gives you healing, now we got to start looking towards that instead of giving our place to the devil. So we're looking at giving our place to the devil is basically what it's saying is that we're dealing with certain things that we don't want to happen or we don't want it to be in our lives, but we're accepting it because we're thinking that is the norm. And that's what we're supposed to be as believers right now. We got to be able to overcome those things that has happened to us in the past. So now I understand why Paul says, "I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling." So I'm forgetting those things that are behind me, but I'm pressing towards the mark that's in front of me. So what he's saying is, I'm forgetting those things that had happened to me, but now I got to find a not a substitute, but I got to find that positive foundation or that strong foundation is going to help me move forward. And like the sister saying, we all do that. There was times, man, I'm driving in my car. I'm like, how did I get here? Like, where did it happen? So,
Yeah.
so once I ask questions and I'm asking the Holy Spirit to give me that, man, it goes all childhood. So when I start looking at the things that are my childhood, I gotta realize and face the fact, like, hey, even though I thought it was the norm, it was wrong. My parents, whoever it was wrong.
Mm.
So I started accepting that. Then I was able to move forward to the things that.
Yeah, come on. Go ahead.
Man,
Absolutely.
so that's good, and I think everybody has their own personal experience with how they handle like and emotions and things like that. So what I've walked into or what I have come into from my own personal experience, and I love that scripture that says, "Where I'm pressing towards the mark of a high calling," that means I'm going to move forward. So what I've learned to do with the help of God and the guidance of God is my past served a purpose. So I don't necessarily forget my past. It serves as a mark to me for where I can never go back to. So it's almost like it just serves as a benchmark for me. So all the time, when I was in those spaces, I would look back to my past, only to remind me of where I come. But I had to remind myself that if I was too long, those things are important to me. Will eventually catch up with me. So that's why I press towards the mark. And I really feel that as a I remember growing up in the church, we're talking about being scorned and the mental, they're real. And I know at some point in life, and hear me when I say this, because it's coming from my heart and I mean nothing by it, because I have everything in me. Remember there was an era where it's like it was frowned upon, it was taboo for you to go anywhere else, any kind of help outside of God.
That's right.
I really and I really feel God has positioned and people in life to be able to help you to get beyond that. That doesn't mean I don't, because I believe in Him with everything in me. But He's handpicked people that specialize in those things to help you get beyond those marks and mental, because that mental thing is for real. And when you're scorned and you're not helped and it's not exposed, it's not talked about, you can sit in that seat for so long, like I did, that you become paralyzed. You forget how to walk. But I didn't know what was going on, or what kind of help I needed. I wouldn't have been able to sit. I wouldn't have sat there that long. Right. So wow. We need to, as a church, help one another. Like when we see the scorn in somebody, or we see, and sometimes it is a burden, and sometimes it's what to say. But I just really believe that if it's not addressed, if it's not talked about with the professionals, it can become like really, really bad. Again, that doesn't mean I don't believe in God. He's my everything. He's my everything. But I do believe that, like I said, He handpicks, crafted people that can help you along the way.
That's
if
good.
if things are not addressed, it's just like a cancer. You can pick it up at stage 1, stage 2,
There you
stage
go.
3, and stage
Preach
4. And once
that.
you get to stage 4, 9 times out of 10, nothing more that they can do but keep you comfortable. Treatment is out of the
That's
way.
right. That's right.
But if you can catch it early and get to the root of it,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it metastasize to other parts of your body, which means
That's good.
now
That's good.
a personal thing with me. Now it's metastasizing, and it's going to my relationship with my husband, or my relationship with my wife, or my relationship with my children,
That's good.
relationship with church.
My
It
friends,
begins to
coworkers,
trickle
everybody.
down, and after a while, you find people are being affected. But people are going to be affected by what you go through.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
If it's not dealt with,
That's a good.
because you're not in this world by yourself.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So if it's at an early stage, and I just look at I look at things like that, like cancer, because that's what it's going to end up being. It's a cancer. It's not addressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just like weight gain. It's just like weight gain. You don't gain weight overnight. I mean, you start you start signs of it. You say, oh well, my pants are a little snug, but it's good. I mean, I can still fasten them. I just got to loosen it up. And then after a while, it's like, wait a minute, now it's like you 3 sizes bigger, but it just didn't happen. It was like, I didn't, okay, I'm eating that extra, I'm eating an extra piece of cake late at night. I'm doing all of this stuff, and then I'm thinking, good, yeah. And then you look in the mirror, and then sometimes you don't see stuff like that happening, because you see yourself
on the scale,
right? You get on the scale, or you go to the doctor, or So, so nothing has a the Bible says this is a different application, but it talks about despise not the day of small beginnings.
Yeah.
Beginnings is there's no such thing as a big beginning. There's like when people go borrow $1 million. That's dangerous. It's like you don't even have a clientele yet. Why are you spending that much money to open something? Or people build $1 million church and they haven't even witnessed anybody. Like, what are you doing? Why are you building a church? Getting $1 million church, and you don't even have a member. You don't have anybody. You just got a big bill on it. So no, it's like no. When you get first of all, get that one person that you're discipling. Start small. And my sister, she said something real good. I mean, but in our families, if you say I'm getting mental help, that I need to talk to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, people just think you lost your mind. Like, man, they like, no, they got more sense than most people. Because I think everybody, listen, I'm gonna tell you, I mean, yeah, I'm a pastor and everything, but I think everybody in life should have at least one session with a psychiatrist, just to talk, just to let them hear you, man. We get physical. That's amazing. We get physicals every year, but we never check our mental health. Yeah. Why don't we have a mental? This is say we have a physical.
And it should be part of physical.
Yeah. Why don't we? Right. There should be a yearly exam. Like, oh, we go just examine where you are mentally. Are you okay?
But you know what, though, Pastor? They do, but they lie.
Oh, we do.
They do. They had in there people lying. It is funny.
They sure do. They ask you.
No.
No, they do ask us.
They have those questions and they be lying.
No, but what it is, to answer that question, he was saying why they don't promote it. It's the same reason why they don't promote people having their own businesses while you're in school. They don't teach you in school from middle school to high school how to be an entrepreneur. They teach you how to work for somebody.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So it's their propaganda. It ain't in their propaganda to wake our minds up. That's really where it's at.
Wow, that's strong. Yeah. So wow, y'all made man, these are great, great,
And
great
what I would
points.
say to Pastor is, I was actually in a relationship where it didn't stem off of relationships; it stemmed off the parent alone, and I had to deal with that.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, so pretty much I'm mad with Mama, so you resemble Mama too.
Oh, you watch that.
That
Wow.
part, that's
Yeah.
what they don't talk about.
Transparency. I mean, transferring our mental states into other into that's a danger. Yeah, because most of the time, if you even if you're in a new relationship and you start having problems early, it's like, wait a minute. I mean, how are we having problems day four? What's causing all this? Where's all this animosity coming? Ever? You know, if you miss texting back, it's like, are you cheating? Like, wait a minute. Oh, wait, hold on. You text me at 5 o'clock and it's 5:30. I don't know what I'm doing, but I hadn't text you back yet. It's like, why can you text me back? It's like, it's just a text. It's like, as soon as
Let me chime in there.
202. 202.
There you go.
Preach 202.
Well, I need to calm down. I've been on the line since 8 o'clock. I was waiting. I was like, oh, they just forgot about me.
No, we don't need to introduce you. You just kicked in, bro.
Number one, the question is, can you love a man or a woman that's born,
How can you?
right? And or how can you?
Yes.
I don't know if you can. Right? Well, I guess let me say this. It depends on how long this person has been and whether or not this person has any type of health. And it doesn't always have to be mental, it could be emotional, and it could be psychological, because a lot of times, when we go through things necessarily seek professional help, I can tell you that I did not. I sought someone and I asked them, can I talk to them? And I saw the conversation. And the longer I had the conversation, the more I felt this weight being lifted off my shoulders because I did not trust anyone. I didn't trust anybody enough to share the story with. Even like my sister and I are the closest person in the family, and I didn't know even how to explain it to her, how to articulate it to her.
Mm.
So it just sat inside of me, building to the point where I see certain situations and jump to conclusions, And so the crazy thing is now, one, I did have that conversation, and I continue to have that conversation. Two, I had conversations with people that were in same-sex relationships and became really, really, really close, and without any animosity. So, excuse me. So, when it comes to somebody being scorned, yeah, I guess the short answer would be yes, no. It all depends on whether or not this person has one, talk to somebody about it, and again, it doesn't have to be somebody professional. Sometimes talking to somebody that just having a, they don't even have to give you answers. They don't even have to give you suggestions. They don't even have to give you recommendations. Sometimes all you need is somebody to just listen so you can vent, and that's where the healing process starts. Because that's how it would be. Now, the other thing you said, hey, in a new relationship in day 3, we haven't in a relationship in day 3. You're not in a relationship in day 4. Okay, I don't know what kind of relationship that is, but early on, those are not relationships. Those are conversations. This is me trying to get to know you. So nobody can say, oh, I met this guy and tomorrow we're in a relationship. That is somebody living in a fantasy world. Okay? So that's my 2 cents.
We good. I'm just glad you said something 202. I'm like, where you at, man? I'm just good voice, bro. Yeah. And I guess, and like what he's saying about not being, I'm talking about when it's hard for you to even get to know people. I mean, when or you can't disagree, and be careful when you're having conversations and you're always trying to deflect. You know what I'm saying? You can feel people. You ask them, well, why is your hair that way? I don't like my hair. Like, listen, wait a minute, man. It's like, hey, I'm just asking. Is that style you normally wear or whatever?
Right.
But when any question becomes defensive because they're bringing it in, that's just that's not good. I mean, and that's a lot of times I think that's where Abe was talking about, the offense part of it. I think when people, you can't hardly ask anything. Where do you want to go to eat? Well, why I always got to be somewhere to eat? Like, what? This is like, man, what is the issue?
So the question is, Pastor, is you ask the question, why do you want to be in a relationship? Should you ask yourself that before you get into one?
You got it, bro. Right. Do I want to be in a relationship because I don't want to be lonely, or do I want to be in a relationship because I want to actually want to be in a giving, and to be in a wholesome, or do I just I'm just lonely? Some people just want to be in a relationship, but they don't want themselves. I think I heard somebody on the phone wanted to call.
Accept me for who I am.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, you have to ask yourself.
So if we're going to how do you love somebody or be with someone that is scorned, I believe for that scorned individual, whether it's male or female, before they even try to embark upon a relationship, they need to heal.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to that's what's going to cause it in the relationship. And it doesn't have to be like a total healing, but just enough to be able to be in a relationship, enough to be workable.
Hey,
So
that's good. That's good. I like that.
That you don't that because the person that is for you can help you to get through the total healing, right? But you just have to get to a place, to me, where you can embark upon a relationship, so that somebody can at least be there to try to love you. Sometimes all you need is somebody to genuinely, authentically, unapologetically, sincerely show you love. But I can't, if I'm scorned and I'm trying to get in a relationship with somebody that's anyway, I'm going to run him away. Because I don't know if he'll have the patience to that unhealed part of me.
I got a little for the most part, it's right. But the only part I feel disagree is when she stated that you quick to go out. I'm not religious, of course, but yeah. But the Bible speaks on a verse that says, "My cup runs over." Should see. Okay, so what I took out of that in my aspect of today in time is he was speaking on how much he loved himself, that he was able to give more than enough to the entire world. And it wasn't enough to where, okay, I'm healed, I'm okay, but I'm gonna take on some more. No, it was where when he was speaking that, I'm in love with myself in totality, so much so that there is absolutely no type of hate that can conquer what I feel, and that I can give more than enough. And I feel that is the example we need to set for ourselves before you seeking something as far as a relationship goes, because you can't go out and fix anything if you're broken yourself. And if you're partially fixed up, you still risk infection.
Wow.
You still risk infection. You're still exposed to some point. You can get out here, cut yourself, rub a band-aid. And if it's not completely healed to it and touch the wrong thing, it's right back infected with bacteria or germs. Now you got a worse problem than what you had before. And that's usually how those who come out here and they're not ready. No, they're not ready. But the first part, like you said, they don't want to be alone. They don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
I think that's like when I'm asking my question, I asked that. I was saying that to myself. I'm like, why do I want to? At one point, I was lonely, and not only that, I like cake.
Right.
ain't gonna lie, but that's exactly what it is. So when I'm looking at that in that aspect, so I found out that the things that I was needing is just for my fleshly and for my just for my what we call being a lonely phase. But now I'm looking at it is that I need someone to build with me. I need that structure as far as dominion over the earth. I need someone to help me have dominion over the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And not even with that, but also be able to help me in my situations or help me with myself when I'm not able to help myself. I need someone to be able to
Oh,
understand.
that's covenant. That's what
You know what I
covenant
mean?
is.
So
That's
those are
covenant.
the things asking or telling myself now why I want to be in a relationship or why I need a relationship because that's more important for me instead of just having my fleshly and my more gratified because of where I'm in or where I'm at the time. Because it doesn't really make me any difference because I'm continue what it's going to continue to do is allow me to stay in the same situation that I'm in. So it's going to be more of an enabler and more of a help to me. So those are the things I got to ask questions now. I just can't say I'm ready to be in a relationship. No, I'm like, why do I want to be in a relationship?
Right. And Abe, you made a good point.
Hey, let me.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, I think I want to add another question to that equation. It's not just why I want to be in a relationship, but I think you should be asking, are you ready in a relationship as well? Having the answer to the why is one thing, but having the answer to are you ready? And we're talking about, if you've been scorned, and even if you haven't been scorned, if you've been in and out of relationship worked out, maybe it's time for you to take some time to look at yourself.
That's good.
And I can tell you, like for me, after my man, I was like in and out, and I had to take time, and I'm still working on that. One of the things people don't understand, there's a difference between alone and being lonely. And if we don't know what that difference is, we confuse that. So we gotta understand that difference. Being alone don't always mean, that because you can be in a relationship and still be lonely.
Yeah, it's true that, bro. True that.
I would tell you, and I think you've been scorned, such as myself, and I can say it out loud. I'm not saying it out loud in private, but I'm saying it out loud. It's easy for you to recognize what other people have, because I've encountered many. I ain't gonna say many, but a few, at least a handful of women that have been scorned, and I was able to, and based on some of the things, I would say something like I give an example, like one woman I met, and we were having a relation, and one day I just said babe over the phone or what, we talking, and she didn't say anything, and then but one day I said babe, and when I tell you she snapped off on me.
Oh my God.
Okay, and I was like, I've been saying this word since, we've been having conversations. Why didn't you say something then? And she didn't even have an answer. She snapped off. And I realized, like, she needs, I know she had, ironically, like the other caller on the line, she wrote a book as well. Ironically, but I don't think she was all healed. Are we still friends to this day? Yeah, we talk every now and then, but, man, she went off. And I was like, whoa, okay. Let me pump my brakes. Let me pull up.
I mean, but did you have a discussion about it? I mean, what was the? Did you have a discussion about what caused that?
Well, she had told me about, like doing conversation. She had, when you're talking to somebody, and for whatever reason, you get over the phone than in person. But we spent a lot of time on the phone because a total different city, total different state. We met through a mutual friend when we visit that person. And so as we began getting to know each other, she talked about some of the things that she's gone through. And when I tell you she had been through some stuff, she had been through some stuff, And so, like, I knew that, I had to be extremely intentional, with what my intent was with her. you know. But at the same time, I just don't think that she was ready because we talked about it after that, and then after the next day, it was like nothing happened, and I was like, I can't play this. I can't shoot, you know. And let me say this: not that I can't, I am not.
Right.
Let me say that because we can do anything we want, but I choose not to. You know, we just friends. But like when I tell you, I've met a lot of people, but this one woman has been through so much. She even to the point where she was on Montel Jordan. You know that he invited her to the show. You know,
Whoa.
and if I didn't believe it, she said she was like, "Hey, Google it, okay?" And I Googled it. Everything she said was true. You know, that's how much she has been through. You know, and so again, we are friends. You know, we talk every now and then, but anything beyond that, I don't know. I'm not the one.
Wow.
You know?
May I ask a
So,
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we're asking how to love a foreign person. I would love to know how a foreign person will go about healing.
I'll
Because
go
we're
with the what?
praying
Go about healing.
How can a foreign person go about healing?
Yeah.
because what he was saying just now is so true, it resonates. Because like even another caller was saying earlier, people have been through so much in life that some of that stuff sits with them and they're triggered, you know, throughout life. You know, so does a person truly ever recover from storms?
Yeah, I think it's like athletes. Like if you have a serious injury, as an athlete, you know, and you're trying your best that you're trying to make a comeback from the injury because it's major, and sometimes they call it a career-ending injury. And then, well, I still want to pursue this. So the one thing you got to be open with is you got to allow the hurt to happen. So what happens is, a lot of times we suppress hurt. Hurt is something you shouldn't suppress. You got your body will never know what it can deal with until it hurts. Like an athlete, listen, when you rehabbing, you got to put weight on. You got to be if you hurt that, you can do all the stretching you want to, but one day they're gonna take you in the weight room and say, "Hey, let's put 10 pounds on it. What it feel like?" Man, I thought I was good, but this 10 pounds feel like 100. So it's like, all right, we got to condition some more. So the first thing is tell yourself, I have a right to hurt. I have a right to feel what I'm feeling. Anybody who tells you over it or or let the Lord fight your battles, like get out of my face, man. Face. No. Because we Christians put we wide brush everything like throw it over to Jesus. Listen, hold it. Abe said this scripture is like, listen, sometimes you're gonna have persecution, sometimes you're gonna have he said you're gonna deal with stuff. Jesus said this, Jesus said, listen, you're gonna have persecution in your life, so get ready for it. You know what I'm saying? He says, now what's in the midst of the persecution, I'll help you through, but don't think you're not gonna get out of it. So I think what we have to do is say, listen, you know what? I'm hurting. I am really hurting. Say it out loud. And listen, sometimes you say to anybody, yeah, just say to yourself, like, you know what? I'm hurting. I'm mad. I'm hurting. I'm angry. That's a part of the healing process. Is just allow yourself. Don't keep saying like I'm gonna be all right. No, that's not. Because this is it. If I take that athlete and he never puts any weight on that leg, and I throw him in the game, I mean that's over. I mean, because he trying to run up the court and he trying to get on the football field, and he get the wrong. He just it's over. So this the whole thing is like, no, he needs that athlete has to say, listen, I am not back at peak performance. I got to train myself. So every day you got to get up and just say something and hold it. It doesn't even have to be positive. A lot of times we say it's got to be positive. It's like, you know what? Today I'm still hurting. At least I'm being honest with myself. At least be honest. At least be honest. Like, no, I don't do better than I did today.
But the fact is, by his stripes.
Yeah, but by his stripes, yeah. Right. No, be honest. Christianity tells us almost to be dishonest with ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. If you in Christianity, Christianity tells us don't say what you think, say what the word says. No, but you gotta know what Paul said this says, listen, I got a thorn in my flesh and I'm tired of dealing with this thorn. He's like, this thorn is throwing me off. I'm out of this thorn. I can't get rid of it. And then he said, well, listen, hey, what? In my weakness, you're strong. But he didn't deny that he had the thorn. So he's dealing with some stuff, man. He's like, I don't know how to deal with this. Yeah. And Paul says, listen, the stuff that I don't want to do, I keep doing it. I keep messing up. He's like, I don't even want to do what I'm doing, but I'm messing up. Yeah. Yeah.
But that brings exactly to the point I want to make. A lot of times we're taking on projects and the assignments is not even ours. So that's why we dealing with these scorned people. And that's why we wind up being scorned, because we're upset that we're dealing with all this madness.
Right.
And then we, at the same token, trying to change person.
Right.
It's not our assignment.
I had someone wives, and I'm gonna go. And the person said, the longer you entertain, what's not for you. The longer you postpone what is.
Preach.
The longer you entertain what's not for you.
Yeah.
The longer you postpone what is.
That's it.
Wow.
But I think Tammy is a core though. I mean, I won't ever know what's for me if I don't deal with the hurt. I don't care what it is. If I don't deal with the hurt, I don't care, because I'm gonna look for different shapes, sizes, and personalities, and I'm the nucleus. If I don't deal with the bad cell, if I'm the bad cell, if I don't deal with it, I don't care who comes my way. And it's always gonna be good for a few minutes, and then after a while, the defect is like, wait a minute, I'm still hurting. Like I thought, because we want the person to cover up the hurt, but that person can't cover up your hurt, man. If you hurt, you got to deal with the hurt. You got to deal. That last person did me wrong, and this is it. If you go with somebody, honestly, don't hide that. Look, it's like, look, y'all, I'm gonna let you know, I'm coming out of a bad relationship. I'm trying this out. So if I say something that's offensive, I'm trying this out. Just go ahead and be open and honest. Like, this is my first time coming out. I came out of a toxic relationship. We both had something to do with it. So look, I'm testing my weight. I'm trying to see. So if I say something, if I snap at you or whatever, listen, tell me about it, because I might not even realize it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I have a question. So do you think unforgiveness is the root of scorn?
Yeah, I think holy unforgiveness can be, but I think the church tells you, they tell you to forget about it. Now, you can forgive a person, but you still got to deal with the hurt, because the forgiveness don't override the hurt. Because sometimes you look,
it's a memory.
Yeah, it's a memory. So what happens is, it's like you can really forgive somebody to the point that you're not dealing with that. That's cool. I'm cool. I'm not dealing with you. I really forgive you. But if you don't deal with what they caused, you're still dealing with that. You forgave them, but you hadn't healed. That's fine. It's like, okay, that person's out of your life. But the train wreck they left behind, you still a train wreck. When you walk away, when you're in a train wreck, this is what people don't show. They said nobody got injured in the train wreck. Everybody's good. But they don't show you the next day when they got cranes out, when they got to bring everything to fix the train wreck. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a train wreck is not just getting through it safely. It's like, how do you repair it? Have we lost ours? Yeah.
But usually that's not the other person. Usually they're not even focusing on the other side.
Right. We don't. Right. We just say, I walked away from it. Right.
Those accidents, you don't feel nothing to the next day.
Right. The next day. Yeah. Train wrecks. Yeah. They don't even deal with it. They're like, let's get the people out safely. Let's get them out safely. Let's get them to the whatever. And then it's like, wait a minute. Now let's go back out to the site, because now we got these tracks ready to roll again. It's like, that's what it is. Some people walk away from train wreck, other trains, and they like, well, let me just jump on another track. It's like you just left a whole train wreck behind you. Good. It's like, no, man, there are trains turn over. Right. There's liquid coming out. You're just on another train, and you riding smoothly for a minute until it jumps the track. Yeah.
So I'm seeing what that is with forgiveness, because sometimes that person can think the reason why the train did wreck, but then they actually had no part.
Come on, that's right.
So it's,
Yeah, that was their thing.
so-
This is a
so
different
it's
train.
hard- It's hard to forgive someone. It's hard to forgive someone.
You don't know you caused it.
When they cause the train.
They're the conductor. They're the conductor.
But when they come to you, say, you know what, I was going too fast. Forgive me.
Right. That's
See, that
it.
part.
Even though I see the destruction, you gotta still forgive that person.
Right.
That's
And
it.
look,
Yeah.
another thing, forgiveness and forgetfulness is two different things. We're not built mentally and anatomy. We're not built as humans to forget anything.
No, that's
It's built in us.
It's called defect. bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you
And
get
so that is something that we have to learn how to channel.
yeah,
through.
that's it.
Yeah,
I love that word, channel. Channel it.
That's a very
Yeah.
strong word right there.
Yeah.
Channel it. Yeah, yeah.
Like sometimes, I mean, I'm like, I'm gonna put that in the dummy load. Okay, for those that don't know, a dummy load is something where like we at a radio station. So that if a surge comes in and tries to mess up the frequency or the internet or the tower or the antenna, it will go into a dummy load and it will suppress it. But sometimes it gets overloaded and then it will still cause the radio station to go down.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
the dummy load is there to take on a load when it's taking too much of it. Try
That's
to
like
put it in.
that's like
Yeah.
breakers.
There you go.
That's what breakers do.
Capacitors and
In
stuff like that.
capacity
Yeah.
breakers, you
There
have
you go.
ones
Yeah.
that are non-labeled. Labeled, those are the load breakers basically. So when your power overloads in your house, it doesn't mess up the generator or the electricity. It goes to those load breaker switches,
That's it.
and the breaker switches will cut off. So you just boom, you switch on back
That's
to
it.
it.
That's it.
There you go.
We had a viewer, she said,
How has the pain in your life damaged the way you think?
Whoa.
For me, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I think it's Rebecca Moore. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know how the Bible says all things work together for the good of them that love God. Now think about this. When I was going through my struggle, going through the things that I was going through, tell the Lord, thank you. Thank you for the anxiety. Thank you for the fear. Thank you for the hurt. Because now what I'm thankful for and grateful for, now I know how to appreciate it when I see the working together. When I see that I'm showing love and compassion.
Good.
When I see that I'm say about me, and it doesn't cause me to go to state.
That's good.
So now
That's
I'm grateful for the pain that I went through because it's working for my good. So that's how I can answer that question. Dealing with your pain, if you be able to be honest with yourself and say, I'm thankful for what I'm going through right now.
That's right.
And when you sincerely and truly are for it, then you be grateful for the things to come when you see the love, when you see happiness, when you see the understanding, when you see the
You appreciate it.
So you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
So that's why I need to say I thank you for the things that I'm going through. But then it is also you also got to be truthful to yourself at the same time. It hurts.
That's it, bro.
Yeah,
It
it
hurts,
destroys me. It causes me not to be productive. Start saying those things when things are happening in life that causes pain. You gotta be truthful with yourself and exactly what it's doing to you at this moment. But then say thankful. I'm grateful for it though, because now when I see the things that I need is going to come, I'm more thankful.
You're more thankful, yes, sir. Good.
There is an affirmation. There is an affirmation and a declaration that I speak every morning, and it's planned. And I got it from the women's empowerment thing that we had at the church. This empowered me, called the game plan, and it says, "I release the pain of the past and embrace the possibilities."
That's good.
There is a time limit on my tears and an expiration date on my fears. Both have been identified, and I also put in there, both have been identified, annihilated. Both will be followed, and freedom from that bitch is assured. I know when enough is enough. I know when too much is too much, and when just enough is more than enough. I am in pursuit what belongs to me, and I will recover all. That's what I speak over myself. It is
that'll
on my
get you there.
mirror,
That's
and I declare, I
how
decree
you
that
get to it.
every morning.
Yeah.
Go ahead to me, sis.
So, yeah, we put that on the WYRN.
And Frederica, let me tell you, I don't want to get to whatever, I know whatever. Let me tell you how the brain works. The brain works, your neurological systems have dendrites. Now, what dendrites are this. It takes about 5 dendrites it takes about 5 dendrites to develop habits. So the first habit, when a baby learns to crawl, there are 5 dendrites that are assigned to crawling. Those dendrites want to do, they want to get that so automatic that baby doesn't have to think about it. So he can get past the crawling phase because it's already automatic. Then what happens is, then the next stage is just to land up. So for every single thing in our lives, there's about 5 set of dendrites that develop. So when we get hurt, there's a pattern that develops in us. So your whole brain remembers the hurt. It's developed there. Now what Frederica is doing is she's developing dendrites that go in and overpower that. So what happens is every time you confess that, you are told to what you're saying.
Yes.
Then eventually what happens is, listen, the hurt doesn't even bother you anymore. It had gone, but it doesn't even affect you because what your brain is saying, we can deal with that because we know what the positive is. If you never replace the positive, if you never replace the negative with a positive, then that negative becomes a stronghold.
Right.
That means you don't even know how to change it anymore. But when you start piercing it, when you start giving it injections, your brain will start to reform according to your mouth, and you're the most powerful thing your brain has. Right.
And that's why I don't.
You got to read out loud.
I literally audibly speak that loud
You got
to every day.
Change your thinking. That's how you have to change your thinking.
Now, this is the other thing that we dealing with biochemistry and biology. Do y'all understand that when you go to sleep, that your brain, every time we go to sleep, our brain resets.
And your body's detoxifying.
There you go. So your body's already preparing for the new day. So if you wake up in the morning and say, I don't like steer, you start in the morning.
Let me tell you what that's called waking up, remembering your past.
Yeah,
You just reprogrammed yourself. Yeah. Instead of you just waking up and say today is a new day.
Remembering your past.
I'm pressing towards the mark, like even your mind lets you know that when you wake up, it's like what I'm thinking about. So I wake up, my mind is empty. I'm like,
so you have to remember what
I gotta remember what I think about. Then you start thinking about something that happened to you yesterday. Do you not? All of a sudden, you in that same mood.
You in that same loop.
That's it.
That's good.
Yeah, and literally, God says, "Listen, man, if we're in God's image, God has ability." He said, "My mercies being new every morning."
Every morning.
So that means literally, God doesn't bring any past. He doesn't bring yesterday into the day. So what happens is, but we do. I mean,
That's right.
We bring it.
He said the next day. He said the evening and the morning was good. It was a new day.
A new day. And God has given, and like what Abe was talking about, He's given us the gift to have them days. We bring baggage. We bring it with us. Because this is it. I don't care what happens in the past, you'll never change it. It's just totally. That's why you say press towards the mark. I don't care what happened, what I did 5 years ago. If I sit there and meditate, it's not changing it. Going for things is not changing it.
That's right.
The only thing I can change is what's happening in the next 30 seconds.
Yes.
I can change. I can change everything in front of me. The stuff. Yeah, Jesus is like this, man. Jesus even said, stop even thinking about tomorrow. If you gonna think about tomorrow negatively, stop thinking like, how am I gonna pay? How I gonna pay this? When I go to work tomorrow, I hope I can deal with somebody. Why are you bringing in tomorrow's worries today? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You don't want to step out of that comfort zone.
You got to get out of that, man. We got to.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like,
Y'all, this is great. Whoa.
And then the viewers say most people can't discover purpose because they're blinded by pain.
that's it.
Yeah, pain. It is.
It's a stimulator.
And that's the And it's the athlete. The athlete, after he recovers, after he totally recovers, all the muscles are strong and everything. You still got to take the hit. You got to take it. You got to. It's like you put on football players, you rehab and everything, but eventually you got to put the uniform on, and somebody's gonna have to hit you. And that's the whole thing with trying out relationships. Not not that you're putting people. You're not trying to mess with people's emotions. But how about just saying, let me just go have a meal with somebody. This ain't got to lead to forever. You know what I'm saying? I think forever, ever. I know, right? I know.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster.
Well, because this is it. I think we go out like this person might be the one. Stop doing that. There's too much pressure on yourself. Yeah. It's like we're just gonna go and have a meal. We'll see what that turns into. Let's not go and say, man, I know this one's gonna be the one. That's too much pressure on anybody. You're the person. That's stress. That's stress.
Exactly.
They're set up for disappointment.
No.
Yeah.
Let's like, hey, let's go. Hey man, let's go grab a meal together. Let's just have some conversation. We not even see how it works. We just gonna go eat something together, something to embellish. If it doesn't, hey, good night. Hey, this was great. You know what, man? We'll check in on each other. It's the pressure on yourself that I'm trying to find the one. You're not trying to find the one. You just try to know people, get to know them. There's the next time the next person I marry, she'll be my friend. I think Shy says that. I love this song. She said, yeah. The next person I meet, I would know that person. I'll know that person is jump. Yeah. And this is it. Most times when we date, we go from dating to get married. We never become friends with people. We never.
I've been there, and I've been told we're not even friends
Wow.
in a marriage.
Oh yeah,
We're
no.
not even friends.
Right, well, you get into the friend zone. Well, it's not that the friend zone is a bad place. It's just like I got to have a place where I can get to know you.
Hey, look, I say thank you. Keep me in your friend zone. Please, thank you.
Right. Because when with friends, they open. It's like I'm not saying I got to do the right things. I can be open and honest, and then that can actually lead to like, well, I kind of like, I really like you. I really like it. I like conversations. I like whatever. So I think it's stages. I think it's hard to go, I'm gonna date you to, I'm gonna be married to you in 6 months. That's like, you're not giving your space anytime. You at a pass fail. It's like either this gonna work or not, and that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood. Yeah. All right, y'all. I know we gotta get everybody home. Thank y'all callers. Talk about settlement. Some great. Put them back, please. Lord have mercy. Y'all brought this was great. This was great. But yeah, it is. It's the 9. It's actually 9:10. We have a little bit more leeway at night. I mean, I'm more concerned about ending at 9 is because I got people, they got to get back home. So we want to make sure that they don't have to get home.
Take an Uber. They gotta drive.
Oh, look at Fraser. Look at Fraser.
I would say if you ain't for sure will.
Don't y'all start. Okay, let's pray, Lord. I'm missing. Let the church say amen. I'm telling you. Hey, I know I love that. That's family. That's what we do. So I release that night is the priest's blessing that comes from Numbers 6 verses 22 through 27. This is the blessing that God gave to Moses to give to Aaron to bless the children of Israel. We are Abraham's seed through the blood of Jesus. So I just release this blessing to the listeners and to the callers. And first of all, before I do all of that, everybody get to say good night. I'm sorry, I forgot to say y'all good nights. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Good night, everyone. I am empowered tonight to be empowered.
All right, now. All right.
It takes two to make things go right. Lord have mercy.
From
Get loose now.
From Minister Rob Bass. I know, right?
Well, brothers and sisters.
Come on. That was good. That was good.
I'm going to put that on my radio. Did not hear me? But brothers and sisters, let's have dominion together and not over each other. Amen.
Does anybody callers want to say good night? You're free to. Okay. Come on, 202.
I'm here.
Yeah, all right, man. All right, man. You better say something. You like one of the crew, man.
Hey, so there's a quote that I'm gonna give you guys real quick. Tupac Shakur.
All right.
It says, just because you lost me as a friend doesn't mean you gave me as an enemy. I still want to see you eat, just not at my table.
Oh God. Whoa, that is.
Oh, that is much right there. Hey, Ray,
So,
I know, Ray. That was like,
when we talk about,
woo!
so when we talk about forgive and forget, yeah, I can forgive you, but that don't mean I have to be around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I love that. But I still want to see you eat. Yeah. That's deep, Ray.
Yeah. And from a person who was very, I was a very unforgiving person. I did not even know this until somebody told me. And the person that told me had a conversation with my brother. And my brother told them that ever since I was a child, I was a very unforgiving person. And that you crossed me once, I'm done. And until that person told me that, I had to go back and reflect throughout my life. And I was an adult. I was in my 30s when I found this out, because that's the way I was, But forgiving now, absolutely, But I just said, look, if you cross me, and I determine the degree of which you cross me, keep my distance. To do okay, just do okay over there. You know what I mean?
God, bro.
Could you to me, Fred?
Yeah, Fred. The hitter,
So
bro. That's the hitter, bro. God, just because I'm not your friend, God, that doesn't mean I have to be your enemy. I still want to see. That's the gospel, bro. That's the gospel. You gonna still, if I still got your back, we might not have each other. Yeah, that's it right there. That's it. And that's what Jesus said. He said, man, love your enemies. He said, it's easy to love the people who love you, but love your enemies. Yeah. Wow. Hey, Braden started to preach. Come on, let's do. We have our young ladies on the line. Does anybody want to say good night? Y'all. She's on. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna release you with the priestly blessing. Hey, Teresa. Is that Teresa? Hey, no, that's Tammy. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. I enjoyed it. It was really great.
You gotta come back. Please come back. That's how I am.
Got it.
So we release it with number 6, verses 22 through 27, and then I ask you to turn the palm towards the sky if you can. If not, don't worry about it. And release lesson from the Amp Bible, starting with number 6:22. It reads, "And the Lord spake to Moses, saying," verse 23, "Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the way you should bless the Israelites. Say to them," verse 24, "The Lord bless you, protect you, sustain you, and guard you." Verse 25, "The Lord make upon you with favor and be gracious to you, surrounding you with loving kindness." Verse 26, "The Lord lift up his countenance, his face upon you with divine approval, and give you peace, a tranquil heart and life." And verse 27, "So Aaron shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them." Well, thank y'all. Get ready to get into the. I can't find It Takes Two. I was trying to look for it. Well, that might have been the song. Hallelujah. We're having a blessed night. Thank y'all for listening to Relationship Maintenance.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
That was
Phenomenal.
What? Okay, two types of things: violence and going. Man, look.
Yeah, let's, man.
Look. That boy. Boy. Violence and going. Two types of things. That's real.
Y'all were hitting, man. Y'all just get better and better every week, man.
I've been trying to get as many people.
Yeah.
There's
God.
another young lady that I'm going to encourage her to get on next Monday.
Wow.
She's her.
I was on Instagram. As soon as y'all talking about the wine and the dope and the fees and all that,
Sure did.
cut off.
What do you mean it cut off?
It said that the stream is hidden.
What?